Hi everyone. So waiting for you to connect. I'm gonna show you a little bit the sightseeing. How's everything? Here we are. I am with a lot of very cold. I'm here in the middle of the stones, so if I fall down, it's okay. So welcome to all of you to the archipelagos of Spitsbergen in the island of Svalbard. Down there is the capital city of the island, which is Longyearbyen. And I am about 500 kilometers from the North Pole. So this is my third time in this island, and the reason is because physically this island in the North Pole represents the pituitary gland, which is the hypophysis, which is the gland that represents and anchors the crown chakra. So it's the connection with the spirit. So this trip is for something concrete that I wanted to share with you. Why? So first of all, I want to apologize to all of you because I am not connected lately with all of you. I am not posting anything. I am not doing anything like engaging you, but because these past 2 months has been so much, it's happening so much in my life that I cannot finish the process to understand what should I do with this. So this is one of the reasons why I'm not sharing a lot. I'm not doing videos. I'm not doing anything because I'm trying to assimilate. So I think that eventually I will be much more present in social media, but I'm not very present because I don't know. I don't know how to use it properly. So I don't do it much. So as you would know, every time that I connect like spontaneously to the social media, my whole organization is afraid because they have no idea what I'm going to say. So I will have to connect more with you because sometimes I'm not sharing things that for me are not important, but maybe for many of you they are. So I will have to connect more. It's snowing. There are some reindeer paths here. I don't know, steps. So this introduction is just to set you in context. So these past 2 months, I have been knowing people, connecting people that are connected to many people inside the systems. Connected to systems that when we work in consciousness, usually we disagree or we don't like. But actually it's very nice to know and to see that there are people that inside those systems are wondering how to reconnect, how to make a change. And sometimes they don't know how, or the systems are too rigid, so it's very difficult for them to change it. So step by step. So so sometimes when I started to post some things regarding the the people that I am meeting, the things that I am doing with some people that are trying to change the things from the inside. Some people get like very desperate to say, these are not, you're not doing the right path. This is not the people you have to talk to, or whatever. I don't know. I have seen these kind of things, but I must say that every day more I will be connecting to these people inside the system. So I just want to let you know that I will do that every day more. So remember that there are a lot of people that I am going to connect with eventually that are inside the system, and for sure many of you would say this is not the right way of doing it or whatever. But actually, if we want to change the system, we have to evolve, make the system to evolve with us. We cannot go against the system. That's not how we do things. So, for sure, the people that follows me from long time, you know that I am not working in a light war or something like this to change everybody, to do whatever whatever change against a system. I am not that person. I'm neutrally trying to work with the tools that the system has in order to help evolve. So that's mainly what I am trying to do. So I wanted to clarify this because the part of my path that was all about meditate and going inside to find the answers, to find the answers of everything, and just being me, connecting with myself and sharing what I was connecting, those years of spirituality has ended in 2022 with the last task that we did. So from 2023 ahead, it's going to be about going outside, bringing that spirit that we have inside, that we have been working for all these years, and put it into the outside to work with many people that are inside the system. So why I'm saying this is not to justify myself, is to put you all in the same page of everything that can appear in the next years. So basically, the path and tasks that are coming next are not just to go inside, but also to apply what we have worked inside into the system outside. And that's why we need allies inside the system. So as you have seen in the latest post that I have done, I have been in between these huge companies, people in the Bitcoin, with working with, sharing with very high possible politicians in the US, with people that worked in the White House and in NASA. So many people that that has contacts of everyone. So basically the key people. So basically I met a lot of people that are keys to connect with the people that are in the system, like powerful people in the system. So basically how all this happened, well, everything happened after the ayahuasca ceremony. So since that moment in ayahuasca, right at the other day, I started to know a lot of people and started many processes that never stopped. And all the people that are opening the doors for something that we are gonna do for the change in the future. Bueno, entonces so I had no idea how to tell all the things that are happening because I'm still trying to process and putting all together. So basically, all the systems that we usually tend to say that they are ill or sick, they are opening to receive something new. So one of the main things that we have to understand today is that the systems that we have are not evil. The systems that we have are ill, are sick. So if we don't understand that part, we will always be in war trying to fight an enemy. That would be constantly fighting someone. If we think that there's a system or something outside that is an enemy of what we want to do, we will always create the need of an enemy. What is an ill system? An ill system is a system that has been stuck, that is not going forward, it's not moving forward, not changing. So in order to transform the systems that are ill, we have to help the sick body. So we cannot fight a sick body. We have to find a cure for a sick body. So that's why when we enter the systems now, we have to think in a different way. I have been speaking a long time about biology as a tool for the spirit. So this is the reason why I will ask to all of you to stop thinking about us as light warriors and start to see ourselves as white cells. Why white cells? Because we are trying to repair a system, to heal a wound, to restore the health of a system. So in this way, we will understand that when the immunological system of a body that is ill attacked us, it's just because the body doesn't understand the new. So this is why we don't have to fight the body and the system. We have to transform and heal the system. And one of the places where we start doing that is here in Svalbard. So who follows me from before 2020, you might know that I have been 3 years of my life designing a trip around the planet to go to 72 nodes, places in the planet, to connect all the nodes of the net. And this, Svalbard, would be the first place that I would have to visit. The year 2019, I booked boats, ships, flights, and excursions, tours that were very difficult to get. And the day that I was supposed to be here in Svalbard was the day when COVID hit. So everything was cancelled. All the trip, everything was cancelled. The only thing I couldn't cancel was the ship, the boat for Svalbard, which they didn't cancel, and they changed the date for tomorrow. So why? I didn't know until I did ayahuasca. So one of the things that I saw in ayahuasca was Svalbard as a portal opening, but the information was that I would receive the information of why during my trip in Egypt, I had to go to Egypt first to understand why now. So one of the persons that I met in the boat in Egypt last month started to explain me things about Svalbard, but not to me, to everyone, because she was supposed to do a talk about something that she knew, and it was about Svalbard. La cuestión es que so one of the things that they were saying was that she was saying was that Svalbard is important for two things. One, the internet in the world is a place of all connectivities in the planet, the cables of the internet. And the second one is a good place to connect with all the satellites. And basically they are trying to connect to go back to the moon. So because they are trying to go back to the moon and do stuff in the moon, one of the main places that they have to communicate and contact everything that would happen in the moon is from Svalbard. Another thing that they know from under the system is that Russia is not only invading Ukraine, but also trying to get back Svalbard. So behind these hills, there is the northernmost city in the world that is abandoned. It was Russian, and it's called Pyramid. It's called Pyramiden because behind the village there's a mountain that has the shape of a pyramid. It's the northernmost pyramid in the world. And that's the point from where you can control all the Arctic. 2 months ago, the Russian government has cut the cables of the internet that goes under the sea to Svalbard, and they repair them, but nobody talks about it because they call it a silent war. So for some reason they want to control the North Pole. So remember that I spoke about this many times, that the same month that COVID hit the planet, the magnetical North Pole moved very fast to reach the physical North Pole, and for the first time they were aligned. What is moving in the north? What is moving so fast in the north? It's a consciousness shift, which I will explain now. So what is consciousness? It's basically the ability to make synapses in our brain, to connect all the different points in our brain. So today is the day of the nervous system in the path of the I Am. Just check it, read it, and you will understand what I'm saying now. So this the synapses is the connectivity of positive, negative, the wave of information. So in order for an information, a data, to move from one neuron to the other, it's needed that one of the transmitters change from positive to negative, and the other one aside change from negative to positive. See, that's how the wave is created and information is generated. All the living beings in the planet, we live through this positive and negative movement of energy. So basically our brains work because of that. Magnetism and electrical pulses. So what it means that the North Pole moves from one hemisphere to the other? It means that the positive switches to the other side. And when it switches, it means that every living being also changes from one side to the other. From the west to the east in the North Pole, and inside from the right to the left, for example. What does this mean? A planetary change of consciousness. is basically a geomagnetical, and the first place where that information is anchored in physical is the hypothesis of the planet, which is Svalbard. So everything that we are usually talking about, a planetary shift of consciousness, is related to the magnetical shift of the planet. So what are the poles in the planet? Means the eyes. These eyes. Okay? So the right eye on the north, the left eye in the south. There's a lot of people that says that in the north and the south pole there are holes where you can enter. I don't know if that's true, so I won't say to you, yes, this is true, or no, this is not true. I have no idea, sincerely. But what I know is that they represent the eyes. So if they are the eyes, that means that there, for sure, has the pupil on the north and the pupil on the south, through where the light comes in. So people say that they saw it and they entered, or maybe they just saw a reflection of the pupil of the planet. Entonces, esta información que nos lleva, que hay dos ojos, uno en el norte y otro en el sur, que se tienen que abrir. ¿Para qué? Para que haya un cambio de conciencia. So, what does this mean? That there is a northern eye and a southern eye that must open to have this change of consciousness. So which stories remind us about two different eyes that are able to see the consciousness, the knowledge? Well, the two stories is one eye in the south related to Horus and one eye in the north related to Odin. Both had to leave one eye in order to be able to see within. Both open a path to the internal world. One opens the tree of life in the north, and the other one opens the tree of life in the south. The point of connection is 33 meridian. So the point 33, the meridian 33, of course connects this archipelagos in the north through the south, going along Egypt, the Nile, and going to South Africa. This meridian 33 is a connection, an axis of planetary ascension that connects the two eyes, one in the north, one in the south. Many stories depend on this that I will someday write to you, so you can read it, because there are too many things to tell. So basically, one of the main things that I saw in the ayahuasca was the opening of a portal in Svalbard, around the island of Svalbard, which actually is around the pyramid behind these hills. So the story of the north says that Odin, the god, he went to a lake, to a well, Mimir's well. Mimir was a giant that was cousin or something of Odin, and he was the keeper of the tree of life. So Mimir gave water from the roots of the tree, and Odin drank it, and he saw the future, and he saw everything. And he hung 9 days on this tree by himself with all these visions. And when he came back, he brought the runes. The runes were the letters, the 24 letters that are a code that opens the wisdom, the words. So this story tells the story of an inner pursuit, which is to stop seeing outside and look within for your knowledge. So that's why he had to leave one eye in order to see the future, to see inside. So for the story of this is telling something that many cultures has, which is to drink from the roots of a tree. It's like ayahuasca, like mushrooms, like all these cultures that are taking plant medicines to see beyond. So it's like leaving one eye so I can see within. And after that, he hanged himself for 9 days to feel the knowledge. So the fun thing about this is that the boat I am taking tomorrow, it takes 9 days to go around the island. So one of the messages that I received in the ayahuasca and later in Egypt, when we were in Egypt, was that in order to activate this information, I had to go to Valhalla. For those who don't know, Valhalla is the name of the Viking heaven. So this information of Valhalla I received by holding the hand of Frida, which is the wife of Mekad, the persons that you have seen in the pictures lately. And she's from Sweden, and her name Frida is Frigga, which is Odin's wife name. So I don't know if you have seen the podcast that Mekad and Aubrey have done about all the stories that happened in Egypt. So one of the stories in Dendera temple was that this being tells to Frida to come to open the doors of Valhalla, and to Mekad says to go to the south of Egypt to open the eye of Horus, so north and south. So the fun thing about this is that a few days later, a friend of ours that was in the ayahuasca ceremony invited us to his house in Utah, and his house is called Valhalla. So we went to Utah, to Valhalla. So I had to go to Utah, to Valhalla, to find the tools to open this portal. So this connects with another story, which is 2014. You remember the path that we did in 2014, which was Roma Amor, which was going from through 24 cathedrals in Spain, Portugal, and Italy, ending in the Vatican. The idea was to switch the information from the Inquisition to something transcendental, something new. So what we did in that trip was to seed the runes in each one of the 24 cathedrals, and I gave the runes to the Pope to switch something from the north to the south. So when I was here in Valhalla, in Utah, the owner of the house, I shared to him, I think the tools that I have to bring from Valhalla to the north are the runes that I left in Italy. And he just pulled up a box and he says, I just bought these runes in Italy. And remember that I posted a picture of a little box with the scarab, which is the hope symbol in Egyptian, and down it says runes, so both connected, north and south. So that was the box of the runes. So that's why from tomorrow, when the boat sails, the task is to seed the seeds, which are the runes, all around the island to open Valhalla, the portal of Valhalla, in Pyramiden, the pyramid. Todo esto se conecta con una historia que es por qué Valhalla se tiene que abrir en la tierra. Y es Ragnarok. So what is Ragnarok? Ragnarok is the equivalent to the apocalypse for the Norse people. And it means the inner war, the war that is inside. So in order for the Ragnarok to happen, the inner war to happen, the shift to happen, the warriors of Valhalla must descend to the planet, and the way they do that is through the Rainbow Bridge. So what is the Rainbow Bridge? It's a magnetical field that is around the planet that shines with all the colors of the rainbow around the magnetical field of the planet. And the only places where that rainbow bridge can descend is through the poles. This is what generates the northern lights. So all mythology is related to a magnetical shift of a change of consciousness. So that rainbow bridge is the one that enables the light of the sun to enter the planet. And those photons entering the planet are the ones that modify our DNA. And this is basically what we call the rainbow race. Those rainbow people that will descend to the world. So this is the rainbow people. And today, around the planet, you are seeing rainbows everywhere. Which of course, it's very tricky today because it's very questionable how the rainbow is covering the planet, of course. And me, myself, I say that. But it's the code. You have to see the code. Everyone is looking at rainbow. The rainbow is everywhere now. And the rainbow is taken by people that is not anymore what we expect for people to be. And with this, I am talking about the people that came to the planet to break the system of what is a woman, what is a man. So why today is a war, this rainbow thing? This rainbow thing is a war because everything that is new in the planet is a mess, is a war. And I'm not saying that one of the sides are right, both are wrong, both are doing a war. But the codes are talking about a transformation of the being. I know that this is too much, a lot of information. I'm trying to summarize everything as much as I can. And I'm sorry that I'm doing it in Spanish and English, but this is what you get. So as a summary of all this story, the history that has been built because of these mythologies have made up our way of thinking. All the things that we have as a magical thinking is the basis of the construction of our minds, of our patterns of belief. So is the thing that creates our realities. So this is why to follow the magic, to follow mythology, is not to follow it step by step. Is to see the patterns that are hidden behind it. And most of these patterns are related to scientific things. And all these patterns, you can perceive and see them in politics, in economics, in cultural things, everything that is happening around the world. The common things. The codes are everywhere because everything is magnetical. We all have a part of that code. That's why we are all remembering and having some information. But we all have different parts of that truth. So that's why sometimes there are so many truths that sometimes we think, we believe that our truth is the only truth. And sometimes when we believe that our truth is the only one, we usually tend to dismiss or how do you say this? Take the credit from the truth of others. That's why I'm inviting you all to stop fighting a system as an enemy, being a warrior of light, and become a white cell in a sick body. In the next 9 days, I will hang from the Yggdrasil branches from the Tree of Life, but I will try not to lose an eye. In this next 9 days, I will be around the island of Svalbard, sowing the 24 runes around Pyramiden. This is the northernmost pyramid in the world and connects with the Great Pyramid in Egypt. So this will open the gates for something very interesting, that if everything goes fine, I will have the pleasure to tell you the story. So what I will ask to all of you to share with me, to make a map of Svalbard, print it or have it in the computer, whatever, and put around the circle of the 24 runes. You can download it in internet, or if you have the runes, you can use them. Make a circle with the runes around Svalbard. Tomorrow I will post a picture of how I located the runes. And in the center, put a pyramid. If you can, put or draw a pyramid. So for the next 9 days until the 8th of June, I will be delivering the runes and opening the portal of Rainbow. And I will ask to all of you to put whatever you feel, your art, your singing, your intentions, the highest frequency you can possibly have in order to be very high frequency. So whatever is entering and opening in these days is for the highest good of all. So I don't think I will have Wi-Fi because it's a boat in the middle of the Arctic. But if I have it, I will share every day what I receive or what happened. And if I don't appear in the next 10 days, so don't worry, I just went around the Arctic to sow some runes. And once said all this, I have to run because it's coming a snowstorm. Y está cubriendo todo, and it's covering everything. So once said this, with anything else to say right now, from Svalbard to open the Rainbow Bridge. So sorry for all this long chat, but I don't know. You follow me for something. I don't know. And if this didn't work, if this doesn't work, so at least we will have fun. So many things to tell you, but there are so many things that I have to internalize them to be sure about it, and yeah. So I will eventually share with all of you de estos 9 días. So thank you everybody for being there, and remember, tomorrow I will make a post explaining simply the task for these next 9 days. Thank you everybody for being there, and see you in the other side in the Rainbow Bridge.